9. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in
We decided we had to do something for a point of difference, and when we looked at the disabled community where we could break barriers and create opportunities by modifying a car, it seemed like a no-brainer to us.
I think it's a great program. It gets a sport that's not commonly acknowledged as being affiliated with wheelchairs or disabilities. I've always felt like when I got out of my wheelchair into my race car, I wasn't disabled any longer. I was a race car driver.
And this car is giving people inspiration to live their lives and to do their lives better.
So it gives them the capability to not just, sit by the side and see what's going on in life, to actually get out there and still participate, because there are people that want to.
There's all kinds of cars like this, but this is the only arrive and drive where you don't have to buy the farm to get the milk.
We've gone with an automatic transmission to facilitate it and make it a lot easier. There's really no difference between a guy driving with hand controls and a guy driving with their feet.
Today we'll be running on the quarter-mile Legends track, and we'll be teaching Brian Anderson, who's an Iraqi vet and a triple limb amputee.
Well, I was in Iraq and I got blown up by an IED. Took my legs and my hand off instantly.
We'll be teaching him how to drive the race car on the quarter-mile track in a controlled setting.
Dude, this is amazing. I've never been in a NASCAR before. Good feeling, man.
Sunday, prior to the Cup race, he'll be running the parade lap. He'll be driving the car for NASCAR's biggest show. What we wanted to do was break barriers and create opportunities so that people would have the same opportunities that everybody else has and takes for granted.
Hi, I'm Mike Moran. I'm a New Hampshire resident, a disabled U.S. Air Force veteran. I volunteer with the New England chapter of the Paralyzed Veterans of America, the assistant sport director and the secretary for the chapter. I met Brian Hannaford 2018 up in Grafton at Speedway 51, I believe is the name of the place, and got to see his adaptive race car for the first time. And it piqued my interest, and later that day I was behind the wheel. Lifelong dream to drive a car, and I ended up in a wheelchair to do it. So what a great opportunity. Followed racing my whole life. You name it, there was four wheels. I'd like to watch it race, or shopping carts, you name it, I'll race it. And it's the opportunity now through Brian, meeting Brian, he's developing a virtual racing league to get our patients who are long-term care or in for whatever myriad of injuries they may occur, have the opportunity to race and get involved in iRacing altogether. And I think that's a great opportunity. I've spent some significant time in the hospital. I know what these tools can do for your mental well-being, let alone your physical. Personally, I think it's a great step in the right direction. No pun intended, but hey, we'll take it. And to get this in a further platform into wheelchair games that happen throughout the U.S. Every year in the summer, and the possibilities into the Paralympics. I think the future is endless, especially in the modern times that we're able to do a lot more things from home and participate with a lot more people at home. It's kind of like bringing the outdoors indoors. So I think that's a great tool for that.
When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Alright, so race fans, right now I know you guys are probably wondering where is the stream for the race and everything. I know we've gone through all our sponsors and stuff here, but I do ask real quick if you guys can remain patient here. Of course, as you see, my technical difficulty screen is up for the moment. We are currently experiencing some technical difficulties on our end here with the league. iRacing can be a little bit troublesome sometimes, and that's kind of what happened here. So we're currently waiting for the response in the crew here, but the Push Limits Racing League drivers are ready to go, and I know you fans are ready to hear it too. So just stay tuned with us. Keep it real. We will be with you here shortly. When we do, we will look at practice, qualifying, and the race itself. So stay real with us. Keep it with us here. We'll be with you guys in just a little bit.
The finish line. Check the radio. Pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to track. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's race day. Crank it up. Oh.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come here. We are finally here at iRacing Superspeedway, here on the landscapes and on the track. It is time to get down to business here, time to get down to the racing. The action is just about to get hot and started right here on the show. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Schreiber, joining you guys here today. And they are right now getting underway with qualifying here, as we are currently dealing with the glitch traffic gremlins popping up on their end and our end as well, kind of attacking us, unfortunately. So I do apologize up front for having to wait a while, but you guys are so patient and awesome. It really does make things a lot easier. So we really do appreciate your time and effort there. But nevertheless, right now, driver's currently getting squared away right now. We'll go ahead and stick it down to the cameras here in just a minute, as currently we are having to read a few things in here. You may hear a few keyboard noises here, unfortunately. Believe me, I wish I could change that. But that definitely does not work out that way here, so. And here we go right now. We got it up here. Here we go. Alright, there we are. So apologies again for the long wait here. Right now we are under open qualifying here, so the drivers have a few minutes to get some qualifying laps in, get some time around the track. This will give them quite a bit of a breach, kind of a bit of a help down here, and this will certainly make things very interesting, to say the least, here as they get through the track. But of course, today's race, ladies and gentlemen, in all of its glory, has been presented in part by our good friends over at Premier Setups, Racing Setups, by Accessible Sim Racing. See, believe, and achieve. We're all about giving to those that want to race. Six Sigma Sim Racing. The Racing Groove podcast all over North America, and the racing news of sim racing. The Racing Groove is where we have it all. And Lightning Wrapz, most affordable designs made at your leisure. Lightning Wrapz brings out the best designs in your library. Field now right at the moment, getting set to go. Warren Young right now your number 1 seed here in the number 9, as he was the second fastest here at iRacing Superspeedway just on the truck series a couple of weeks ago. Looking to try to make the same time, same attack here in these Gen 6s. Now you're wondering at home, hey, wait a minute, isn't this the old car we used to see run on TV a lot? Yeah, you're not wrong, and yeah, that's true. It's the exact same car. A little smoother than the Gen 7s, if you will, the next gens that they're referred to as now. But there is one little caveat in my opinion, which is they are extremely difficult to pass with these cars here. Any of these super speedways, any of those super speedway tracks, this Gen 6 to me is probably the toughest and the most heart-wrenching to even try to find a way to pass with, because again, you're trying to literally go from a car that was more loosely based and loosely out of control with a little bit of a harder grip on it, to now a car that is pretty solid, pretty stacked, but its bubble and its window of push and shove and run gets pretty tamed down and lost in connection sometimes. So it can be a bit of a hassle and a bit of a handful just to get that going, to get that kind of runoff here. We'll have to see though as this race kind of comes forth, it kind of comes through in the moments in the time. See if maybe that time slot does kind of make things a little bit more wary for some drivers and some that are better at the plate tracks than the others. Dustin Sonaker definitely knows a thing or two about these plate tracks. He's had some great finishes here on the show and looking to try to continue on that hot streak. Chad Bass in the number 1 right now, trying to get his Hooters number 1 a little bit onto the draft side here. He's working the 77 to Danny Moynihan, looking to get some speed off him, looking to get some control. Now the reason he is staying so far back now, just all of a sudden, trying to build that speed, trying to build that runoff, is because of that bubble that is created from the driver's end, driver's speed. In order to get that push, to get that run, you need to stay as far back as possible. And then when the time comes, you get across that finish line just in the nick of time, you can flat foot it and just completely take every ounce of speed, every ounce of control to get the fastest line, the fastest time. And you'll see right here as it comes across the finish line, that time's going to shoot way up. And a matter of fact, it's going to shoot him to the top spot. Chad Bass is now the number 1 seed. Tyler Ork, Warren Young right now a little bit shocked, but at the same time, really, can you be any shocked at what they did there? Bass knew what the draft was doing for him. He knew what they were going to give to him. So they planned out the strategy, they planned out the timing and the mechanism, and that's exactly where all that gain and ground came from. Mike right out the 76, looking to try to avenge a few of his heartbreakers, his heart clinchers here. Trying to get a good qualifying time in. He's got a top 5 stacked right now. We shall see if that's going to be good enough or not. As the drivers right now are continuously finishing out their qualifying runs. We look at the 18 now, Julian Condé. Condé right now making only his 2nd appearance here on PTM Racing TV. He will be the only driver in the Toyota Camry today. So that may be a bit of an advantage, could be a disadvantage. You could look at it multiple ways, you could look at it multiple angles. In my opinion, I kind of look at it as a bit of an advantage. It gives you a little bit of a different perspective, different outlook, a different line to hit up with, and more time to really use and abuse with these cars. So now final lap times have been completed. And the number 1 seed is going to indeed be the number 1, Chad Bass. He'll pilot the Chevrolets up to the top spot with Warren Young and Tyler Ork down on the 2nd and 3rd tier. The Ford's not out of that exactly yet, though. Cody McRae laid out 4 fastest in the 28. And then one more Chevy in the top 5. Mike Rideout hangs on. We have a stacked lineup ready to go. The drivers are ready. Fans, are you ready to go? Are you ready to see some action at last? We do apologize for the late start again, but we are now set to go. The action is about to kick off. Open qualify complete. The time is set. Here is your grading order for tonight's Pushing Limits Racing League, a main event here on the iRacing Superspeedway. This is presented in part by Six Sigma Sim Racing. Chad Bass in the number 1 is the number 1 seed, is outside Warren Young in the 9. Row number 2, Tyler Ork will be in the 8, is outside Cody McRae in that 28. And row number 3 is Mike Rideout in the 76, outside Daniel Moynihan in the 77. And row number 4, it's Julian Condé in the 18, is outside Dustin Sonaker, pilots the number 50. Row number 5, Matthew Hoffer in the 84 is outside Chantel Throttle Bottle in the number 5. In row number 6, we're going to see Stanley Bottle in the 48 is outside Garrett C. Crawford. He'll pilot up in the number 69. In row number 7, that will be piloted up by Kevin Menepace in the 42. Tracy Todd is in the 22. And then out of it all, that is your final starters. 14 drivers make the cut. But Chad, hold on a minute. Chad, you're not supposed to park it up there, my friend. You're supposed to try to get it going here. What is going on? I think they may have forgotten the bankings up there are a little steep. If they just seriously suffered damage already on those cars, then this might be a bit of a tough one for them to get through. Looks like that 5 premier setups of Chantel Bottle does have damage on the right front already. Chad Bass already, we know, has a slight bit of damage on the rear end and the fender. These cars aren't exactly like the next gens. They can't exactly just take the abuse very well. And this could get interesting. Alright, they'll finally get them back up into the field, into the pace, so thankfully they do have an instant repair they can use if it gets a little too hectic, so I think those that damaged up already, they'll be looking at that later on. No command on the green flag structure yet. They're going to try to get everybody to the finish line first before we start this one up. I think we got all of them. They just got to start backing them down maybe a little bit. Back them down, back them down, back them down a little bit, guys. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Okay. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. We got trouble down here already, boys. Staley Pottle, Garrett C. Crawford, Tracy Todd, and Kevin Menapace have all come to a dead stop here, and this is not the start we wanted. Alright, well, I hate to say it for Tracy Todd, but he's going to have a lot of damage on that car out of the gate. I don't think he hit the brakes in time there. I think he was trying to shoot it in. He actually got right in front of Kevin Menapace. Menapace got completely clipped up there. And then I don't even know what the heck happened with Stanley Pottle on the start here. We'll take one more look at it here. Again, they had a rush because they didn't even know what was going on, but this is definitely not good at all. There's the wreck there, unfortunately, with the 22 and the 42. Menapace trying to get another win here on a plate track, and Stanley Pottle just did not get off the line. Got into the, I think it was the 84 Hofford? That might be Garrett Crawford there, excuse me. Definitely not the way they wanted to start this off. And it looks like Tracy Todd is damaged up pretty bad right now, so I think he may be shooting the fenders a little bit. I don't know if he's going to try to use an instant repair up down there or what he's going to do, but it looks like he's trying to get damage control done. Not the way the drivers wanted to start. Not by a long shot. Well, we're going to try to get these guys squared up again here. Chad Bass now got it a little bit rounded up, kind of figured it out. Maybe a bit of a chaotic start here, but remember, we've always talked about it here on PTM Racing TV. Sometimes a chaotic start is going to be a good run here. Alright, so Tracy Todd going to bring the 22 Mountain Dew Code Red machine back out. Damage extremely severe on that front end there, and that's definitely not going to be good for him in his camp here. That's going to definitely give a few bad spots here and bad situations he's going to have to struggle with. And again, it's just kind of one of those things, man. You just got to kind of watch out for it. You got to be very careful on this track. It's iRacing Superspeedway. It's not going to give them any breaks, that's for sure. We'll take a quick commercial break, Race fans. When we come back, we'll see some more action here on the show. We'll try to get these guys and gals lined back up and put it. When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure.
what we wanted to do was break barriers and create opportunities so that people would have the same opportunities that everybody else has and takes for granted.
Alright, welcome back, race fans. Here right now, drivers currently getting skeletoned up, back into place, back into position here as we are trying to come back from the bad, colossal disaster that was kind of the start of this race and everything that kind of got shaped in between. Drivers right now currently dealing damage and fixing up cars one at a time, trying to get everything fixed up. Some serious hits and hard bumps already out of the gate, and a lot of drivers didn't even realize what happened until it was already gone to go. But now they are trying to get squared back in, trying to get this fixed up and get this race going. Stanley Pottle, Tracy Todd, both drivers still in pit road. They're trying to fix damage up and trying to also, I think at this point, just kind of give themselves a breather, a bit of a chance here. I don't think any of them were expecting to have this happen to him, though. Stanley Pottle will finally get the car back out, but be very quick because he's going to have a front row seat to literally everybody coming up behind him. As they are now finally approaching green flag start. Onto the corners here. Every driver set to go. 12 drivers right now on the grid on this go. Stanley Powell trying to get back up there with them as we get them straight to a green flag start. We are underway. They fire him up. We're green. Warren Young, the early leader too. Chad Bass right now right behind him though, trying to get the Hooters number one, a little bit of some speed and some leverage. Some leverage there through the corners as the 77. Daniel Moynihan right now moving up to the top side, getting a little side draft on the one of Chad Bass. Side drafts do work a little bit with these Gen 6s, but they aren't guaranteed opportunities. The 69 up top there, Garrett C. Crawford right now trying to come back from a little pickup he suffered at the start of this race, looking for some momentum. Tyler Work as well in the 8. His distance keeping it under control. Very subtle as Cody McRae comes up into the back end here, trying to get some draft line off every driver for themselves. And some just kind of staying back in the pack here a little bit, trying to stay out of trouble. Moynihan on the outside, looking for the race lead though. Putting the boot to Warren Young, but Warren does have the bottom lane, but he's got to be careful. Shooting up, shooting down, can get this car a little bit wobbly and a little squirrely through the corners. He knows this. He's got to watch out for it. Tyler Scott Fitzgerald saying the 42 crew, let's go. And Terry Weiland saying, run like the wind blows, Kevin. The wind blows, Kevin Metapace. I get it now. I was having to reword. I was having to look at that. Maybe I had to reword it or not, but now I idea what you mean. And the 42 Metapace is in position, but I think he's trying to stay away from drivers right now and trying to stay out of that mess. He thinks there's going to be a bit of a mess and a little scruffle here with these Gen 6s. Yo, but out of the gate, honestly, I'm kind of surprised. Actually, there is some speed coming from the outside, and there is some run from these guys in the Gen 6s. I was not expecting this. I've had so many people talk to me about how difficult it is to make a run with these cars, make a move on with this, but it looks like Superspeedway might actually break that plate track shell a little bit. Some good passes coming up here at Julian Condé. Make a little bit of a move off here. Warren Young getting an opening. Trying to sneak his way on the outside. Gondé goes up there. He says, hey, Moynihan, let me join you guys up here. But that opens the door for Warren Young, who sneaks his way down the bottom. And now we've got ourselves a 3-wide salute down the front stretch. Can they hang on to it? Well, the 18, Condé's not hanging this one on. He's going to lose speed. He's going to lose traction. Chantel Bottle and Dustin Sornick right now staying out of the mess, trying to work together a little bit and see if maybe there's something for them later. That's been their strategy last week. This is their strategy this week. So far, so good, but there's one downside. They can't get too far ahead behind. of that 8-ball, if you will, because when these drivers get too far ahead, it's going to be extremely difficult to get the opportunity and the shots to make up the time, make up the ground. On board here with Garrett C. Crawford and the number 69 Chevrolet Camaro as he comes up right through the ranks, trying to make some moves off, trying to make some charges into the corners. Every driver right now currently either going high or low. They're looking for a tag team and looking to bring it home. Gap starting to really get formed up. This is what I was a little bit worried about, was how difficult was it when you start to get the trains in? Was it going to be to start making some moves or making some passes? We do know that bubble line that these Cup cars have is very limited, so they can't get too far away and they can't get too far back. Some may push, some may shove, some may go for a run, some may just say to heck with it. And you can just see that kind of Dover-esque style there of those corners, entries, and exits, just swinging you down, then swinging you up. It's an absolute it's an absolute grinding taste of experience, to say the least. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say it wasn't fun and worth it. Looks like a little bit of runoff here on the outside. Tyler Orrick, great burst of speed and great run here. He must have had his racing Bible open up to Excel Chronicles, verse 17 of 9. In the time of need, we find speed, trust in the power of the Lord, and I will get my car to soar. Then the 77, though, Moynihan says, wait a minute, I got the same Bible verse. Let me get up there on that top side. He must worship the same racing Lord. He goes to the top, makes for the run, and he got some company coming down the bottom. Look out for that 69. Or excuse me, that's the 28 there. That is right now moving up ahead. Cody McRae, the Havaline machine, is on the offensive. And McRae, not a driver usually I would see kind of making big moves like this or making big runs, but instead he's making a charge for it. He's definitely making it interesting. Takes the race lead. 10 laps completed out of the 40 here. We've still got quite a ways to go. If you're not in that back right now, though, you're pretty much long gone and forgotten about. This is some pretty good stuff here. And race fans, also, just remember, if you heard me say earlier about Dover, just keep in mind, too, we have Dover Motor Speedway coming up next. After this showcase, after this race, we will see the drivers of those big bad boys down there as well in the truck series going at it here on PTM Racing TV. They will fight it out down on the track and down on the experience. They will bring everything they can here, as they will have to find themselves some time and some shoes to gap. So all the action, all the stuff coming out right now here, and so much pacing, so much continuous motion going through. Drivers right now being a little bit more cautious, but again, running that bottom lane with these Gen 6s, again, it's very easy to kind of use a throttle, kind of full throttle off here, but again, when you're not lined up, you're not in a position to really make a run for it. It's very difficult to pass, as we've known here before. But again, I have not seen, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I haven't seen the Gen 6 Cup cars since really the last time the next gen got updated with 670 horsepower. That was the last time that I can remember we actually seen these Cup cars on the track. Ever since that update, ever since they brought us really to their full standard that NASCAR brings, that's all anybody's raced. They haven't touched these Gen 6s. You know, it could be for a lot of reasons, it could be for a lot of angles in some people's minds, but in my opinion, it really just boils down to, what do you want more? Do you want the old stuff, or you want the new flavors? And most drivers, they want to keep going with the new flavors, because that's what the officials bring, that's what the racing experience brings. The only Toyota at our camp, Julian Conde, right now trying to hang in there, trying to make a speed, make a splash, make a run off here. Looking for every angle, any little spot he can, trying to get up to these boys. But you can see now this Wrapz is starting to become a little bit of a benefactor to those that are really trying to get the speed, trying to get the run. The outside line goes away. Now it's time to work the bottom. And this ain't just a choo-choo Talladega Daytona draft train. This is the iRacing Super Train. It's speaking of super train, looks like Moynihan right now having a little Captain Crunch because he's feeling a little bit of that sugar rush because he's going for broke, going for it all on the outside, but there is no man's land up there as well. Could not get it to go. Looking back at the pack right now, Dustin Stoneacre in the 50, the 5 is Chantel Paddle. Both drivers way, way behind the curtain here. I think their strategy was to lay loose and lay back, and hopefully the drivers up ahead would wreck out at some point. That does not seem to be the case. Kevin Menepace, well, this guy just got to not catch a break today. He won last week in a pretty good fashion, but he started today, and everything just got completely flipped upside down and flipped on around. And really, that was due in large part to the unfortunate circumstance with him in the 22 of Tracy Todd. Stanley Pottle even getting himself into a bit of a bad cut, bad slot out of the gate. He knows this was not the way he wanted this to play out, and it was not the way they wanted to go. So reality right now here, we have 9 drivers in that pack, in that fight right now, trying to garner positions, garner for momentum. While the rest stay back low, maybe looking at the fuel run, or they're looking at maybe something else. I would say right now, though, you need to kind of stay in that pack, you need to stay in that line of sight to hopefully strive and conquer up for a big run later. Only 5 laps now left to go here. Field keeping up distance, keeping up the pace. Watch out for the 9 of Warren Young coming up to the range, coming up to the banks. Pit row is now being opened up. Warren Young, Chad Bass, Daniel Moynihan, Julian Condé, Garrett C. Crawford all head in. The rest of the field is kind of going with the wits and going with their gut. Keeping through the controls, to the momentum. Oh, Hopper gets right into that 48 there. Watch out! Whoa! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my! Stanley Bottle nearly goes for a wipeout dash. He gets completely clipped around here. I don't even know what the heck happened there, but he's coming to a dead stop here, and I don't know if they're going to get the caution out because of that, but let's take a look at this here. Presented by Accessible Racing, here is your PTM Instant Replay. That 84 drove up a little bit. I don't think Bottle was really realizing where he was at. And if I'm that 28 right now, I am thanking the Lord a little bit, the racing Lord and the other Lord, because and our good Lord and Savior. But that one, my friend, was extremely close. Stanley has refired the 48, but I've got a feeling he is not too thrilled right now with anybody on the track. Yikes. Cody McRae gets the car back on out here, and we'll have the race lead. But for how long exactly? Because here comes an 18, and here comes a 69 right behind. Condé and Crawford firing up positions. McRae trying to get the draft drivers behind him. Pit stops definitely have plenty, and down the fuel lines are definitely going to be set in motion. Drivers are going to need to be very careful here. Pacing through the field, pacing through the charge right now. Everyone coming up to the ranks, trying to get some speed, trying to get a little bit of a go around here. And again, Hoffert, it looked like he was backing off, and then Stanley just didn't even realize where he was at or what was going to happen next. Kind of the old super speedway issue here, as we've seen before. I'm still kind of wondering though what would happen if we put the what would happen if we put the 87s here. I think that might push a few limits and push a few drivers to their brinks. Tell Billy Elliott to come out here, man. He'll set not only the fastest time in the NASCAR racing industry, but he'll set the entire motorsport world ablaze and on flames. I guarantee it. Right now the field just going to try to get up there to the 18, the 69, and see what happens from here. Things are just getting further and further as we continue along. Drivers constantly now trying to find speed and momentum here. Tyler Orrick coming up through the ranks, coming up through the field. A little bit of a switchblade back action here as Julian Condé and Garrett C. Crawford kind of clipped up there with Kevin Menapace. Menapace being kind of their lone push, their lone run here, trying to make something go. Fall from Greystoke for that number 42 camp this week. I'm hoping next week we'll see a little bit more of a cleaner bend, a little bit more of a fight off there for these drivers. I would have to say it probably will happen, but next week though, it's going to be a little bit smoother transition as the Xfinity Series are at Talladega Superspeedway. So stay tuned with us, keep it real with us here on PTM Racing TV with the Push Limits Racing League. As a little bit of a bump off down there from Warren Young at the 28 of Cody McRae, nearly getting him loose there, but he was able to hold his line pretty stably. Both drivers coming out clean as a whistle there, no troubles whatsoever. This is kind of that gap zone right now that's making drivers kind of question here. Is it worth trying to take the big risks? Is it worth trying to take some big moves here? And right now you're seeing, as they continue on here, it looks like the bang number 9 of Warren Young looking to try and strive and conquer on that draft zone. Passing opportunities have only been of so much of a plenty, but a lot of guys I think are also trying to just count laps in, count laps down, hoping for a bit of a break, hoping for a bit of an equidus. 17 laps left to go here, and the field continuously striving on down, looking for some momentum, looking for some charge. Every driver for themselves here. Mike right out Chad Bass, which I'm shocked, honestly. Chad Bass is this far back, struggled with the early going, had that major issue out of the start. Couldn't even get the car off the go, and before it just completely spun and crashed around. Then everybody else behind him just got into a complete 180 mess here. And unfortunately, since then, that's pretty much what they've been facing off against. Menapace just really one car away from getting put a lap down. Tracy Todd is out. Stanley Cottle is out as well. They will try to return next week, I bet you, but this was definitely not the way they wanted to play this one. 18, Julian Condé right now moving into the back straightaway here. The 69, Garrett C. Crawford looking on. And to be honest with you, folks, I think it's a huge wasted opportunity right now with these guys right behind them here, because McRae, Hofford, Orrick, and Moynihan and Young have not drafted one another to get up to those boys. I think they're now actually starting to catch them, but if I was them, I would have been trying to draft a lot harder than they are right now. I think they're being a little clever, but at the same time, they're being a little too rambunctious about what they're even doing, what they're even thinking. They need to start really processing this a little bit better than this, because right now they have got to get them. And now Conde and Crawford said, well, we got to leave them in a pace behind. Get ahead before these guys get ahead of us. Crawford backs off a little bit, kind of setting up Conde. I think he's going to try and slingshot him into the corner. Drivers coming down. Menapace got to stay up top, stay out of trouble in the 42. Currently running in the 11th slot right now. Every driver for themselves. It's a wild goose chase. It's a dash for the cash. It's a dash for the run. By the way, next week on Sunday, I will tell you we do have another dash for cash race coming up. So I will clarify something I said earlier. They will be back next. It'll be 2 weeks from now that we see Shake and Bake. So I want to clarify that from the broadcast last night. Anyway, finishing up right now with only 14 to go. Anybody's game plan, anybody's race. It's up for grabs. Whoever wants some more can take it from them. The 18 Conde, Crawford, Moynihan, McRae, Hoffert, Oric, Young. They are all in this fight, looking for the win. Neither driver has won out of the bunch ever here on PTM Racing TV, or maybe for some in quite some time. Oric's won here before. Hoffert has won on the show as well. But for some heavy hitters like these guys, they are not looking to play into that. They want to just focus on trying to get the maximum amount of positions and the maximum amount of points, knowing how tough these plate tracks are going to be throughout the season and throughout the course that runs. A little bit of luck and a little bit of a vantage point right now between these drivers here. Look at this, the outside. Here comes Crawford. He's looking for some help. Is he going to get it? Oh, he's going to get it all right, but is it going to be enough time? They shoot it up from the top end, and McRae was going to go to the bottom of him. He can't quite get around it. 3 wide, just for a brief fleeting moment here, swings it back down. Tyler Ork trying to escape with the back. Field struggling to find opportunity, trying to find momentum, and it looks like Hoffert played into a key moment there, really taking full advantage with 12 laps to go. Moynihan right underneath the nose. Woo-hoo-hoo. Almost got a piece of Conde. Oh, we gave him a big push, all right. Huge hit in the back on the 18. The Bass Pro Shops 18 Camry of it. Conde, I said earlier, is probably going to have the advantage being the only Camry out there. Well, I wasn't lying. He's got an advantage. He's got a little bit of help. Holding down Moynihan, holding down Hoffert. Everybody for themselves here. But how long can he do it for? Again, how long will that give him the race pace, give him the race momentum? We've got 11 laps to go. Things starting to intensify, getting a little bit crazier out on the track. So much riding on the wall for these drivers, so much at stake and so much going for them. All they can think about is just conquer and survive. Warren Young headed into pit road, problems down there for the number 9. May have had a result to his fuel line cells going out on him and giving him too much trouble. Kevin Menapace getting out of the way of Tyler Orrick's way. Menapace has to accept fate and accept the consequence and just realize it's over and done with, unfortunately. He can't do anything about it without a caution. He's going to need a hand with that. If the caution flag does fly, it will change this race completely on a dime. Hoffert right now, though, all he can think about is getting that long-awaited win back on PTM Racing TV. He's been in this stew before. He's been in this position before. Could this be the time? Conde, Moynihan, Hoffert, Oric, and Crawford, your top 5. Hoffert diving up the outside. I don't know if that would have been a smart move. I think he should have stayed a little bit low. He's going to let Oric pass him in. He's going to let some other guys come through. Oh, wait a minute. Now I know why he did that. Conde and them heading to pit road. Oh, they got to be careful. They got to be careful. Pit road stops. That could get them in trouble. Warren Young, I believe, got penalized entering in pit road. That's why he's still down there. That will open the door up for some of the drivers in the back. Chad Bass, Mike Rideout, and Chantel Bottle. They're all trying to get in this mess. They're all trying to get up there. Bass trying to get a great pit stop in. Chantel Bottle, Kevin Menapace here. They're all looking to get some serious momentum and boost off the corners here. Dustin Soniker working with the 5. If that 5 does not get a good pit stop in, she's going to be in trouble. Hoffert has the lead. Tyler Oric right behind, following pursuit. And now they have to take the pit stop. They've got to time the brakes just right. Remember, these Gen 6s can be a bit of a hassle. Nearly clips the wall. Oric looking to pass Hofford, entering in pit road. Can't quite get it. Cody McRae gonna get out of pit road first. The 28 is out. Condé, Moynihan, and Crawford are coming after him. McRae looking for his first win ever on PTM Racing TV. Will he finally find it at the iRacing Superspeedway? He is dead set on it. He's dead set for it. The rest of the field trying to hurry out. Warren Young, though, looks like he's got his pit stop penalty all taken care of and got his run back underneath him. But he's going to be in a hard dash to get to the 28-18 and the 77 before they start the draft. Will he have enough time, I wonder? He's got a great distance ahead of him, and he knows it. Gonna straight shoot that bang 9 around town they go. Hoffer and Oric have both entered off pit road. Here comes the 28 of McRae. They may be able to catch him. This could be an interesting position to be put into. McRae, though, is literally just trying, and I mean trying, to get ahead of the entire field and stay quickly ahead. He might have a chance, but Hoffer gets it out as well, just in the nick of time for the 84 camp. Wow, this has completely turned itself upside down here, race fans. We were talking all about just what kind of a madness scenario popped in around the first set of laps. That has completely done a whole reversal. We have now brought to the attention of the pit stops and how important they are. McRae is not getting any speed off Hofford. Hofford is literally just starting to run away with this one. But did he put enough fuel in? Remember, he's lead-footing it right now. He is not letting off. He's lead-footing it. And if McRae can get Condé and Moynihan to help him out, that will seal Hofford's fate. McRae now needs Condé and Moynihan to come up there with him and give him the run, give him a push with 6 laps to go. Hofford's lead could be in jeopardy if they're not careful. The gap of the time zone is there, and the positions are certainly intact, and they're certainly in position. Race fans, I'll let you decide down in the comments section below. Who do you think's going to win this one out? Will it be anybody in the top 5, or do you think somebody will sneak one in and steal it from them? We're really about to find out. Condé drives it way wide, way too far. Tried to get around McRae, but that was a bad move and a bad spot. He lost a lot of time just by doing that. Moynihan follows in pursuit this time. Finally, McRae will get the draft. Now, can he get the push? He's got to get the bubble. Can he get to the bubble? He's a little bit off. Can he grab it? He's a little off there. I don't know if he got it. Trying to line it up. Speed isn't there yet. He's not getting the grip. He's not getting the speed. Time delta showing he is too far off. He's got to get more lined up in this right now. He knows he's not lined up. That bubble I talked about earlier with those Gen 6 is so difficult to grab and so difficult to get with. Condé and Moynihan are not wanting him behind him. They don't want nothing to do with him. McRae, though, says, I'm not having it that way. In this race, I want to win. He's finally starting to get a little bit. Might be able to get it. It looks like he's got it. I think he's got it. It looks like it. It could be. Is it? Yep. Delta starting to show it. He's got a chance. Hofford, though, found some help. He got Sonaker right in front of him. 5 now, turns 4 to go. Is there enough time for the boys behind to grab a grip, grab a hold of the speed they're carrying through? With 3 cars behind him, this will help. Moynihan and them need to get McRae behind him. They need to start getting a push. They know this. They can't let off anymore. That might have been a bad move Condé did there and gave the opening up to him. That was extremely consensual move in a very bad little spot to put themselves in right at that moment and at that time slot. 4 now, turns 3 to go. A 3-second nearly gap changed up. Hofford is using Sonaker for everything he can. He just needs him to use it a little bit longer. cars are screaming right now. They may be 550 horsepower packages, but they are screaming to the line, screaming around this track over 250 miles per hour. Benchmarked on this track. Absolutely ludicrous. The gap is not changing for Conde and Moynihan on Hofford by much, if at all. It may be getting them by about 1/100 of a second per lap, but it's not enough unless they can get McRae to help. 2 to go. I don't think it's enough time. They are going to give it everything they can, though. Hoffert looking for his first win in a very, very long time. He's been in this spot before. He's been in the shoe as well. He's been put in so many bad luck scenarios, bad runs, bad timing, bad angles. And now with the gap just completely reversed in and changed up, this might be his opportunity, but Conde and Moynihan are not going to give up. One last push, one last run. They're coming. McRae behind, finally giving him one more chance. White flag this time by for the 84. Hofford holds the charge. Isn't enough time, though, to keep them ahead. You can see Conde is right there. They need to get a good burst of speed in turn 1, 2, or this one's over with. They've got the Delta clearing up. Sonaker trying to keep Hoffert in bay, trying to keep him on the charge. They're going to stick to the bottom, keep the track shortened up, but that's going to give Honda a chance as well to grip with them. They're hoping and praying. They're giving it one last go, but it doesn't look like it's enough. One more time, they swing it up to the top side. And Matthew Hoffert, out of turn 3, down in turn number 4, will hold him off one more time. Matthew Hoffert will win at the iRacing Superspeedway. What a performance. And you can't tell me for 1 second he didn't time every move, every shot, every run. He pitted on lap 32, took a gamble, went for the most amount of fuel. He got some help from Sonaker, but in the end, Matthew Hoffert was able to match the speed, match the time delta, and take these boys to a whole nother level. And this one has got to be the sweetest one he's won in so long. He's going to bring it right to the front of our cameras here and showcase this bad boy to the entire world. Hoffert, months, weeks, days without a win, ends it here. What a performance. Out of all the chaos and the madness that started on the start of this race, thankfully we came away looking at it in a real positive light. Matthew Hoffert wins it all. Conde goes second, third to Moynihan, fourth to McRae. Great showing from him. Crawford goes fifth, a good showing for the start of his season. Tyler Orr goes sixth, seven to Warren Young. Chad Bass, a tough hand dealt, but we'll see him back next week in the 8th spot. 9th, Mike Rideout once again just continues to dominate top 10s, but has not come away with a win. And Chantel Pottle, yet again at iRacing Superspeedway, bad luck, takes her cake and takes it home with her, unfortunately. But a top 10 nevertheless. Race fans, it is time to talk with the top 3 drivers. When we come back, we listen in with every single one of these drivers and see how they felt about this one. When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Welcome back, race fans here. Top 5 have completed their race, but the top 3 talk with us today. And the podium, it's the 77. Bringing it home for Ford, it is Daniel Moynihan, and bringing a solid race to the end here. You and Conde certainly had quite a battle there, but in the end, you were able to kind of hold out and stay charged and stay controlled with this one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Julian had an incredible drive, and those last few laps, we were just trying to catch up to the #1 spot, see if we could make a move. But, a couple more laps, we would have had him. But other than that, fantastic drive by all drivers all around.
For sure there, and I know you really had a lot going on, a lot really to play out here with this team and this crew. With that being said, though, I mean, now you've got quite a bit of a showing and a little bit of a run here in the season. Do you think Xfinity at Talladega next week could definitely make things a bit more interesting?
I mean, yeah, if I can keep the momentum going, keep the spirits high, get a good drive as it was today, I'm hopeful.
Well, hopeful's better than nothing here. So, but nevertheless, here a third place finish. Who do you want to thank for that?
Shout out to Accessible Racing, great sponsor there.
For sure there. All right. Well, Moynihan, we really appreciate coming on board here today. Congratulations on a well-deserved third place finish.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. Daniel Moynihan, ladies and gentlemen, comes away third out of the bunch. Coming away second, though, really put the boots in the fight to the end. Just not enough time to get Hoffer. It is Julian Conde. Julian, man, it looked like the pit strategy, the run, the race itself was playing into your cards in your hands. I said at the top of the show, you're the only Toyota Camry, and I thought that really was going to give you an advantage. It certainly did, but it wasn't quite enough to get the win, though, was it?
It's not for lack of trying. I have to thank Daniel, the number 77. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten to second place. I thought we almost had him at the end, but it was a little short. It's actually a pretty good racing. I was really nervous. I thought we were gonna have some wrecks, but being the only Toyota, I guess we got to represent. And I appreciate everybody that puts on this race, and I appreciate you guys broadcasters for doing this. It's actually really fun. But we tried, but seconds, it's better than nothing.
Second, definitely better than nothing, and nothing to sneeze at there. So, Julian, anybody else you want to thank here today for this one?
I just want to thank you guys in the broadcast booth. I want also thank Chantel for putting this on, and good drafters and good racers all around. This is actually a pretty fun league to be in. Thank you guys.
Absolutely, Julian. Congratulations on a second place finisher, sir, and we'll catch you guys next time on out.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
You too. Conde, ladies and gentlemen, coming away here second, but out of the bunch. And finally, top honors belong to the Hoffer camp. Matthew Hoffer is going to be your race winner here. As we've seen here, we had a Ford in third, we had a Camry in second, and then top of the hour, it was the Chevrolets that were the #1 seed. You were the one that brings Chevrolet home, but at the end of the day, this one means a lot more than just simply winning for a manufacturer, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. This has been an incredibly large monkey off my back. Quite the losing streak I've had here lately, and this is definitely a good sigh of relief.
A good sigh of relief, good way to kind of burst onto the scene, get some long-awaited redemption, and really see this car come into play and come into the top honors. I know you're really looking towards trying to strive and trying to conquer here, but I mean, with that last bit of laps there, at any time did you think Conde and them were going to come at you and get you a little bit?
Kind of seen them in my mirror, and by the time they could have really done anything, I mean, it was about 2 to go going to the white flag, and they were still about 2 seconds back. So if they would have had maybe 3 or 4 cars behind them, they would have had a little more juice to get up behind me, but not sure if they would have been able to seal the deal.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, I mean, this one means a lot. This one's the one you've been looking for quite some time. With that said and everything, I mean, who do you want to thank you for this one, bud?
I'd like to start with all of our sponsors that come with us this season. Premier Racing Setups, Six Sigma Sim Racing, The Racing Groove, Lightning Wrapz, Accessible Racing, everyone here at Pushing Limits, PTM Racing TV putting on the broadcast every week, and all the friends and family watching at home. Appreciate it. Tune in next week, and looking forward to our next one.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, Talladega next on the list. Xfinity Series this time around. Hofford. We'll certainly see you guys there. Congratulations, so on another finish.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
First on top, this one brings home the bacon. It's Matthew Hofford winning it all. Race fans, thank you again so much for really hanging with us for I think it was like 15, 20 minutes here. So big thank you to them. To Premier Racing Setups again, thank you so much. Accessible Racing, Six Sigma Sim Racing, The Racing Groove, and Lightning Wrapz for all your support. We can't thank you enough. From the bottom of our hearts, race fans, thank you for your time. We'll see you guys here in about 20 minutes. Green Mountain Grills at Dover are next.